Hello everybody and welcome back to CJ Trading. Now since my last video I put a link to the option of getting a free stock, and a few people have actually got their stock since and started trading, and a few people have actually asked me what is a stock. So I thought I'd make this really basic and simple video today to talk about what the market is and what a stock is, also how you can get involved. This is for anybody who's actually looking to start investing, or if you're just looking to learn something that you didn't know before. So apologies out there to any professional investors or traders for the simplicity of this video, but that is my aim, to try and make this video as simple as possible for everybody to understand. So let's get into it. So what is the stock market? Well, the stock market is thousands and thousands of companies from all around the world, and it's made up of different sectors. So some sectors will be energy, banking, travel, technology. And then in each of those sectors, there'll be hundreds and hundreds of different companies. So just to give you an example, in the banking one, you'll have like HSBC, Barclays, Bank of America, and so on. And then in the travel or airline one, you'll have Delta Airlines, America Airlines, EasyJet, etc. So all of these companies are all in the stock market, and they're all offering you a chance to invest in their company by putting some money in the hope and aim that over time their company will grow and you will make a nice profit. So what is a stock? Well, in really simple terms, all of those companies that I just named and hundreds more, they're all in the stock market, therefore they are stocks. So if we take a company that we all know, so Facebook for example, that is a technology stock. So if we go and have a look at Facebook right now, at their stock, you can see that their price is currently trading at $185 roughly, let's just round it. And that is £150. So if we was to buy one share of Facebook, that would cost us £150. Now these companies can issue millions and billions of shares. They're issuing these shares for you to put some money into their company, and then hopefully their company will grow and you will get a profit back. So if you bought one of those shares, that would cost you £150. So if you bought two of those shares, that would be £300, and so on. Now if we look at where they were trading at back in 2014, you can see that they were trading at around $70 a share. So what that means is now they're at $185. If you was to have bought it back in 2014 for $70, you can now sell that share and you would make $115 profit. Now that's just with one share. If you had two, double that, three, triple that, and so on. That is how to make money with shares. You buy at a lower price in the aim of it going up, and then you sell it for a higher price. Now there are some other examples here. If we show you Amazon, for example, now they're currently trading at around 2,300, really expensive stock. But if you look at back where they were trading at in 2014, it was only $300 roughly. So you would have made $2,000 profit right there if you'd bought it in 2014 and sold it now. And that's just on one share again. Now these shares that I just showed you are fairly expensive. You don't have to put in 2,000, you don't have to put in 100. You can buy shares for £1. You can buy shares for 50p. Like, it really depends on the company. Every company is different price. You can even buy half a share. The principle is the same. You buy low and you sell it in time. Now there's one more thing to talk about in this as well. It's called dividends. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail about dividends, but if we look at, let me go on to BP, which is an English based energy company. So if we go into BP, you can see, so their dividend is 10% roughly, which basically means, and you see their share price here is £3.20, let's just say. So 10% of £3.20, that means that if you bought one share for £3.20, at the end of every year, they would give you 10% of that money for that share. So a £3.20 share is 32p. So if that share price stays at £3.20, at the end of every year, you would then get 32p from BP. Now that doesn't sound like a massive amount, but if you had two shares, that's double that, 64p, and so on and so forth. If you had 100 shares, you'd be getting £32 just from doing nothing, just from having your money there. And the reason they do that is just as like a thank you. Rather than reinvesting all of their profits into the company, they're giving you some of their profits. So you're making really easy money if you're doing dividends. That's a really basic explanation of dividends right there. Now, you buy stocks with the aim of hopefully that company growing. If you don't see any future in a company, then there's no point in buying a stock or a share in a company. So if you thought a company was going to go bankrupt next week, then you wouldn't want to buy a share in it. If you thought a company was going to be worth double its value in a few years' time, then it's probably worth buying a share. These companies that I've just listed off are just purely for examples and not necessarily recommendations. It's just examples for this video. So how do you actually buy a share? Well, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this because if you see my previous video, I did a Trading 212 review and I actually went in there and bought a share live in a matter of seconds. I will very quickly buy a share on here just to show you what it's like and how quick it is. This is Facebook. I'll buy one share. Done. So that will come up order executed in a minute and that share will then be mine. And it's the exact same principle for selling a share. Now there are so many different platforms you can use. Just for the purposes of this video, I've used Trading 212. If you do want to use Trading 212, you can also get a free stock worth up to £100. The link is in the description below. You just need to sign up, deposit £1, and then the stock is yours. So that's my brief overview of what stocks are, what the market is, and why people are investing. As you can see, there is a lot of money that can be made in this market as long as you're doing the right research on the stocks that you're interested in. There is also money that can be lost if you don't research into these companies properly. So I hope you've learned something from this, and if you found it informative, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and leave some comments below. And until next time,